Hey folks, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Team FYN Sports and Circuit World at Blue Ridge present Fan and Rebel Wrap-Up. Want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing the meal for the players and the coaches. Also want to thank all of our Team FYN Sports sponsors. I'm here with head coach Chad Cheatham, and let's see, we've got Coach Chuck Patterson, defensive line coach. First two on the couch, Dalton Ross, number 83, defensive end. Right? Did I get that right?
That's him.
That's him. Okay, just double checking. I'm looking at both of you, making sure. It's not the first time I've done this. Okay. Also, Micah O'Neill, number 52, middle linebacker. Before we get into it, we're at that time of the year. It's region play. It's time for region play. It's officially fall, so it's time for region play. Let me give you just a little bit. If you're new to the show and you're new to the area, the 3A Region 7, you have Fannin County, Greater Atlanta Christian, Dawson County, North Hall, Cherokee Bluff, Lumpkin County, East Hall. Now non-region play, Fannin County's 3-1, Greater Atlanta Christian 3-1, Dawson County 3-1, North Hall 2-2. Cherokee Bluff 1-3, Lumpkin County 1-3, East Hall 1-3, and again, that's non-region play, and we are going into region play this week. Coach, good win Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Good
Sure
win,
was,
right?
Yes.
We've talked about this at the beginning of the year. Non-region is over. You got a bye week. You're going to be going to play Cherokee Bluff. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this game right here, and let me get that back. I mean, you had a good win, here, 34-30. You went into halftime, 21-14. Come out, couldn't get on the scoreboard in the third quarter.
Right.
Gave up 13, got back on the scoreboard, 13 points in the fourth quarter for a 34-30 win. But this game came down to taking a knee and running out the clock and an interception in the end zone. Was this the game for non-region play that for your players, your seniors out here and your juniors, that you got to see everything out of them?
Yeah, I think
as
so.
much as possible.
I do. I think Lafayette, Union, and Chastity, we got to see what our kids are all about. Obviously, both three are those three games, non-region games, are tough football games for us. We talked about it at the beginning when we first did the interview. Everybody was going to be better, and so coming off of that, being able to get a win, being able to get a big win late in the game, kind of springboards you into the off week and then on into your region play. It was extremely important for us.
We talked at the beginning of the year, and obviously, 3-1 had that loss to Union, but again, as far as non-region going into region play, how do you feel about everything you've been able to see, being able to make the adjustments about this team going into region play?
We're very pleased. Obviously, we're not satisfied. We're pleased at this point. We're not satisfied. We know we got a lot of work to do. I don't think there's ever. I think Coach and I said it today. A relentless pursuit of excellence all the time. So humility is one Friday night away, and we take that serious. And now they count. Whereas, not that they didn't count before, but now you're talking about playoff implications, and you're talking about picking one off and getting a win and setting yourself up for what happens in game 8, 9, and 10 for a possible playoff spot or a home hosting a game, things like that. So it's starting to get real right now.
Well, that's what we do every year on the show, and this every year. We look at Team F1 Sports, all the teams in what I call the non-region of who's getting their adjustments, who's making some moves and things like that. And when we get into region play, we really start drilling down. Let me ask you this, Coach Patterson, the defensive line coach. Before the show, I was talking. I want you to highlight the player, and this is what I like. Is I was talking about number 6.
Jacob
Tuggle. And I was talking about watching film on him and just getting in there at 2 sacks. Was it 2 sacks he had?
He had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And tackles for loss and things like that. But something created that. Another other players, other moves. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Anytime you're playing a mobile quarterback like that, you've got to have somebody that's your contained rusher and just kind of keeps them in the cup, like we talked about for the last week or so. And Dalton Ross was that guy this week. He really kept, the kids committed. Christian Charles, Chesty, great quarterbacks, committed to South Carolina. Division I athlete with Division I speed. And this kid right here stepped up big for us this week and kept that kid in the cup and allowed us to get some pressure from the backside and make him make some bad decisions in crunch time in the game. That was huge for us.
Dalton, talk about that, because before we opened the show, we were talking about the film, and Coach highlighted you in containment there. Talk about going up against the Chesapeake War Eagles and this mobile quarterback, and talk a little bit about the defensive side of this team and what you were up against last Friday night.
We was up against a fast quarterback, and he was really fast, and our defense did really good against him. I feel like we did. We contained him really good and pressured him and made him struggle a little bit, and we just all did our jobs. It's a good game.
Also, Micah, let me hear from you, because a defense, not to go all the way back, but in preseason, you're working out in the weight room and your strength conditioning. That's when if you're working there, that's when you finish a fourth quarter on defense, right, Coach?
Sure.
And you guys did. You held them to 3 points in the fourth quarter. Talk about what was the attitude of the defense when you guys were out there and you guys were together. You gave up 13 in the third quarter. You had no choice but to shut down, and you did in the fourth come up big with 3. What were you guys talking about in that last fourth quarter together out there to make that happen?
I mean, really, we were all talking about just doing our jobs. I mean, if one person don't do their job, that quarterback would take advantage of you, and he would make big plays. So we all had to really step up and bow our necks, and really everybody do their job to get big stops like that we needed, that helped win the game.
It's very simple. Just, Coach, your team not giving up. You're down. You're down 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes to go.
Yeah,
you guys are
2 minutes. We're down 148. I think they kicked the field goal, something like that.
right.
And that's what we've been preaching since January. We preached it last year, but these kids have really bought into the fact that we got to play 4 quarters. They know how to play 4 quarters. And we talked about a standard being set, and when we've set that standard, they don't settle for anything. They're not going to allow somebody just to do anything easy. Even in the Union game, they're a great football team. I mean, we're 20-14 with 4 minutes left in the football game, and got a chance to drive it, and when we make offensive penalties and mistakes, and kind of cost us right there. But these kids don't have any quit in them, and that's the greatest thing that I could say about them. Obviously, their commitment to each other, but their commitment just to continue to play 4 quarters as hard as they can possibly play, not just for themselves, but for the other guys that are involved, and I think that's big.
Coach, on the defense of your defensive line, but just talk about the non-region through 4 games. Sometimes you got to make adjustments. Sometimes you got to move some players around, put them into some different positions. Are you guys set, or do you feel comfortable this year? You got everybody in place. You guys set to go into region on
Absolutely.
the defensive side?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going into region play with our best 3 defensive linemen that we have available to us. And the great thing about our non-region schedule is it gave us a chance to see those kids play against some different types of offenses and how they would respond, to different blocking schemes and different styles of offense. So I think going in, I think our 3 guys are set, with a couple of variations here and there based on down and distance in certain situations where we have to make subs. Just try to get some more speed in there, some more bulk in there, just depending on the situations of the game. But right now, I think our guys are set and got some good guys ready to come in different situations and spell them and make some big plays for us.
Coach does a great job with packages. He has several packages he uses based on down and distance. Obviously, with Jalen's a part of that package. He's not available right now. So we've had to move some guys like Mercer out to the end. And Logan Long, that freshman kid, played extremely well. And if you looked at the Georgia Daily Micah was talked about there with 13 tackles and 2 sacks, but that's because this young freshman kid at nose sucked up a double team all night, let our Mike linebacker run pretty free. Yeah, sometimes triple team, but he's going to be a great player. So, with that rotation, we're able to keep bodies fresh. We get Miles in there, and we get Bundy in there, and we get Logan in there, we get James in there, we get Dalton in there, we get Jalen back. We're able to rotate based on situations, keep people fresh on offense. When we met Sunday before the Chesapeake game, first thing that we went down through a list, and we said, how can we give our guys rest? Because we were right at where we were playing like 18 or 19 guys. And our defense did a great job of moving people around, giving our linebackers and our offensive front some rest, and I think it played well for us.
Going into region play every year, you want to look how healthy is the team, and is this a good time to have that bye week?
Oh yeah,
you're the team that gets you're getting a bye before region starts.
I think it's big time for us because Tuggle's banged up with the shoulder a little bit. He's going to be fine. Jalen's still on the mend from his injury.
Right.
He's supposed to be released on Monday, and we feel good about that. So, we're glad we're not playing Friday because we wouldn't be full bullets right now. But I think by Monday we're going to be fresh and healthy. We've had the stomach flu go through. Cohutta and Andre both had it last week before the game, and we've had some sickness and things like that. We were very fortunate to have them on Friday. So it's a great week to take off, and we hadn't taken off, but it's been a great week to be free.
So what you're saying is with this bye right here at this time, by time I think it's October 4th, you guys see your first region game against Cherokee Bluff. Phantom Rebels is a healthy, strong team ready to go in the region.
I think so. I think so.
Guys, let me ask you a question. Both of you, one at a time. You can answer this. I'm going to ask the same question to both of you, but. On Friday nights, I always ask the players on Friday nights, when you leave the field, you have the W 34-30. A lot happened in this game. When you went home, what did you say Friday night? Hey, when I show up Monday, I got to work on this. I've got to critique myself, work on this, and I want to get better at it. What was that for you? Go for it.
For me, it was being able to get my hands on the man better and get extension on him and being able to get around the edge better. But this week I've been working on that, and
What was that for you?
I definitely needed to work on being more vocal. As a middle linebacker, you're making the defensive calls, and sometimes when you get kind of worn down, it gets harder and harder to yell, but I really got to step up and do my job to make the calls, and I definitely need to work on my body language when it gets late in the third and starting the fourth quarter and you've been playing and it's hot and you're tired. I definitely need to work on being strong for my team and doing my job better.
Dalton Ross, 8 total tackles, 5 solo, 3 assists. Way to go. And Micah O'Neal, 13 tackles, 8 solo, 5 assists. So, Coach, look. To me, it looks like that defense can't wait to get on the field on Friday night.
They were ready.
They're ready to go. Huh?
Always ready to go.
All right, I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching Rebel Wrap-Up from Circuit World here at Blue Ridge. I want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi, our sponsors, and all of our Team FYN sponsors. Going to take a brief break, and when we come back, Cohutta Hyde will join us, and Andre Bivens. When we return, take us a break, Lonnie.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
the underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen in your dreams, kid. 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. That putting your feet on that path to greatness and grinding it out day after day is a long, long road that can lead you to the promised land. And that's why we believe. We're with you every step of the way.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellen, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back, and Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of Blue Ridge present Fan and Rebel wrap-up here on a Wednesday night. Want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing a meal for the players, coaches, and also thank you to all of our Team FYN Sports sponsors. Don't forget, every Friday night on the sideline, you can follow Reagan Young. Is that her last name, Lonnie? All right, I'll blame it on Lonnie. Follow Reagan, but follow us at Team FYN Sports on Twitter Friday nights for all the highlights throughout the night. Now, we have a bye week. Fan has a bye week. We're here with head coach Chad Cheatham and Coach Chuck Patterson, defensive line coach. Joining us on the couch now, number 4, Cohutta Hyde, and number 11, Andre Bivens, with an S, right, Lonnie? Just get it correct, because, they're helping me out, right, Coach?
Good
They're
job.
helping me out.
You got it.
I got it right.
You got
all
it.
right?
Attaboy.
3 solo tackles. Let's see if I got this without switching over yet. 3 solo tackles, 4 receptions, 116 yards, 2 TDs. Did I get that right?
I believe so.
You believe so? All right, guys. Let me ask you, because we do want to switch over to Cherokee Bluff. It is fall out there, and that means it's
Are
time.
you sure it's fall out there? Because it didn't feel like it today at practice.
I got to keep telling them, Coach.
I
I got
got
to
you.
keep telling them it's
coming,
fall.
man. Keep coming.
Positive
But
thoughts. Positive thoughts.
what that means is exactly, guys. What that means is time for region play. But both of you guys highlight a little bit like our last 2 players this past Friday night game, and go with this Chesapeake War Eagle team, good football team. You had to play them to the buzzer. So let me see, Coach. Was somebody in the end zone at the end?
Yeah, they had
who
about
made the interception?
Andre.
Was he in there?
He was in there and pulled one down for us to end it. We were able to take a lead.
So talk about that, because you guys actually had to play this game to the end. There was no letting up. There was no taking a break. And you're down in the 4th quarter. You're up going into halftime. You come out. They jump 13 in the 3rd quarter, and then you guys have to come back to wrap this one up. Talk about that back and forth and having to play that thing all the way to the end. Go ahead, Andre.
Well, I mean, it was tough. We didn't want it to happen to us like we did last year. We ended up slipping, losing by 3. So that was in our heads, but we knew that if we just kept strong and just kept pushing, that we would come back and win the game.
Was that something on your mind this year? Because last year you had a couple games that you wanted to get back this year. I mean, that's what I would say is you wanted those games back this year, and this was one of them, was it not?
Yes, sir. I mean, it was one. It's always going to be the back of your head, but yeah, I didn't let it like slow me down. So I don't think anyone else did either. So we just kept our head strong and got the win.
Let me ask you, with Luke Holloway, you guys have several receivers. Luke's able to put the ball up to several guys in the air. But talk about this year after 4 games, the chemistry with Luke back there, because when it comes to a quarterback and wide receivers, there has to be confidence. There has to be trust on both ends, right, Coach?
Sure.
And there has to be confidence, and you got to know what's going on. Talk about how that has come in this 4 games this year with you and other receivers and Luke Holloway.
Well, with Luke back there, we can trust that the ball is going to be somewhere that we can go up and get it. So we just run our route full speed and look up, and the ball's usually right there. And our timing has gotten a lot better from last year. Luke's arm has gotten a lot stronger, so we can put the ball further downfield so we don't have to slow down or anything.
But it's all come together because Luke has to have an offensive line.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that offensive line has to be in protection, and he has to feel comfortable. So he's comfortable. He's able to come back, find his receivers, and you guys aren't missing a step. So every bit of that's coming together for you guys.
The offensive line has definitely gotten a lot better from last year. They're a lot more confident in what they're doing. They know what they have to do, so they just go give it everything and pancake everybody.
You know, I missed Miles last week.
Yeah, you did.
And, man, I had questions for Miles.
Miles loves being here.
Yeah, I know he does. I'll get a chance to talk with Miles.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.
We'll bring him back.
You got you're prepared for Cherokee Bluff. You're watching the film on them. You're watching everything in the last 4 games that these guys have put together. Talk about Cherokee Bluff, because for those of you out there, it's over at Flowery Branch over in Gainesville. They're the new team, but they're not a new team. They broke that school out, and there's good football players on that.
Right. They got their first win, and they're confident. They beat Johnson. We don't officially have film yet, so a lot of the stuff that we're looking at is off max preps and things like that. So you know, we won't exchange film until after Friday night. We have a good idea of knowing what they do just because of talking with people and things like that. Defensively, we're not real sure how they're going to defend us. We've seen multiple defensive fronts through the past 4 weeks and 2 scrimmages. So we're kind of waiting right now. Not that we're not working on them. We're looking at their personnel, what we think they have. We're looking at last year's film, and we're trying to prepare that way right now. A lot of this week's just working on us.
They're a new school in the region. It's their second year, right, at football.
Right.
And, just to say it again, the way they split that up out there is a lot of those guys on the team last year, I said they were like a good JV team last year. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this year, I think they're going to be competitive. They're still growing and building, but they're going to be competitive on Friday night.
Tommy does a great job, and he's been around it a long time. Those kids are going to play hard. And we said it before we even started playing ball. You and I talked about it. Everybody we play is going to be better. They're definitely going to be better. They've got more kids. They've been in the system just like our kids longer. And that's only builds confidence and for them in region play. They got that big win against Johnson, and they got that off their back, and now they're playing with confidence, and it always worries you.
Coach, just like Coach Cheatham said, you don't have the film yet on them, but you got some stuff on Max Prep. Mm-hmm. You know them from last year, and you know about them. So on the defensive side for your line and also the entire defense, what are you guys looking at that you feel like you're up against October 4th starting region play against them?
Well, like I said about our previous 4 games is, we've played a heavy run offense. We've played a lot of spreads. I feel like we're more prepared now for whatever's coming at us. I think reports are getting us and running 21 personnel, a lot of eye stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is good because that's that's what we've been practicing against since summertime. When we start practicing, and that's what we run. So. I think our kids are ready and prepared for just about anything you can throw at them. They're a good bunch and they play hard, and we're gonna be ready to go.
Guys, talk about that because let's take right into Cherokee Bluff. You have the bye week. You're working this week on yourself. You're going to get some film Friday night and start working on Cherokee Bluff next week. But going into region play, all right, your non-region's over. How do you get both of you guys answer this? How do you feel where the team's at right now with non-region ready for Cherokee Bluff in 2 weeks? How do you feel about the team where you guys are at right now?
I think we're pretty good. I think there's some things we got to work on and tweak, but overall I think we're solid and ready. I think we have the best guys capable to do their job, and they know what to do. I think we'll be ready for them.
What's that for you, Cut?
Our defense and offense both know what they got to do, and everybody's ready to play, so we just got to do our job.
Now, both of you guys played Cherokee Bluff last year.
I did not get to play in that game.
He was out with concussion.
Oh, you were out.
Yeah,
you were out
one
with
in the Union game, so he was out.
Oh, okay.
He was
all right.
out at the for the
back to
Chester
the
game
Lumpkin
and the Cherokee. Well, he didn't come back until
The Lumpkin game.
the Lumpkin game, which was late in the year.
But I guess where I'm going with this is all too well. I look at the entire region, and it's strong. Some teams are building. Some teams are growing. Second year like Cherokee Bluff, but this is not a team you want to, you want to take for granted. You want to go in knowing that they're actually playing some pretty good football right now, and you don't want to take them for granted.
Yeah, they definitely have some more athletes than they did last year. And like Coach Cheatham said, being your second year, they've got kids that are getting used to the offense and defense more than just being introduced to something new, so they're definitely going to be a lot better this year.
How about yourself, Andre?
It's going on Cohutta. The longer they're in there, the more they're going to get reps, the stronger they're going to get. They're going to come back bigger and faster and stronger. But the thing is, we were bigger and faster and stronger this year too. So we'll be ready, and we'll play them head-to-head as hard as we can.
I go around these questions, and I probably ask the same question 4 times. But then again, the people out there know that because they've been watching for years. But let me ask you, your second-year head coach, tell me how you feel with this football unit, your coaching staff, and everybody. Last year, first year, going into region play, you played your non-region, region play, Friday night, Coach Cheatham, first year on site. Talk about this year. How do you feel, Coach?
Extremely proud of them, extremely proud of where we are. Obviously, we know we've got work to do. I love our coaching staff, the bond that we have together. I love our kids and the way that they handle themselves, not only on the football field, but in the community and in the classroom. We've got a lot to be proud of. We've got a lot to work for and a lot of things to do. The more you win, obviously, the more eyes that are on you. So we have to take care of business off the field as well as on the field, and make sure we're doing the right things and doing our job in every aspects of our life. But I would never use the word satisfied, because we're not satisfied. I think there's something every day that we can learn. We got to get better every single week, and humility is one Friday night away. So we'll take it one game at a time and see what happens through the next 6 weeks.
Maybe you're not able to share this because it's not that time. But these guys, like you said, you're working on yourself this week. You're going to get film Friday night. Next Thursday when practice is over, and the next day is the first is October 4th or whatever. You're going to be headed over to Cherokee Bluff. Practice is over. You call the guys in, and it's time for region play. What kind of speech? What can these guys expect to hear from you on that night? What are you working up to talk to these guys about?
Thursday, I mean, Hayes in the barn. There's not a whole lot we can do as a coaching staff. You can motivate a little bit. As far as game plan and those type of things, it's over. You have to put the game into their hands and trust it in their hands, and expect them to do their jobs like they all talk about. And that's been our thing all the time. I mean, once Thursday evening rolls around, you do your special teams check and you do your walkthroughs. I mean, the ball game becomes theirs, and it's their team. And we'll do a little rah-rah before the game and things like that. I'll tell them something significant, but other than that, they've got to play and make plays.
Guys, we're running a little late, but I don't want to end without the question I always ask. Last Friday night when you guys got done against the Chest City War Eagles, what was it for you, Andre? Friday night, you said, "Hey, when I hit practice Monday, I got to go work on this." What was that for you?
Basically just keeping my eyes on the guy I'm covering and making sure to also look at the quarterback and make sure I can know where everybody's at and where the ball is coming, and make sure I don't get beat. As in one play in the game I did get beat, let him have a big play. I recovered from that, but I still want to make sure it doesn't happen again, and also making sure I wrap up and make sure on tackles and stuff like that.
Cohutta, what was that for you Friday night? When you left the field, you got the W, but you immediately said, "Hey, Monday when I get there, I got to work on this."
Mainly the coverages on defense and getting them spread out throughout the DBs, because we did struggle with that. Having one DB running one coverage and the other corner running the different one, because we just didn't get it shouted out to the whole defense. Our communication has to get better.
Guys, I appreciate you. Coaches, I always appreciate you guys. It's been a great show. Let me go over a couple things. First of all, I want to thank Cohutta Hyde, Andre Bivens, Dalton Ross, Micah O'Neill, and also Coach Chuck Patterson, defensive line coach and head coach of the Rebels here, Chad Cheatham. Let me tell you, we're in 3A Region 7, all right? So Friday night, Cherokee Bluff is at North Hall. Greater Atlanta Christian is at East Hall. Dawson County is at Lumpkin County, so that's how it shakes up. These guys have a bye. I think it's October 4th. They will be over October 4th. They will be over at Cherokee Bluff for their first region game. Again, we want to thank Circuit World. We want to thank Papa's Pizza to Go. We want to thank Pepsi, all of Team FYN Sports sponsors. And don't forget, every Monday morning on Team FYN Sports Facebook page, Lauren Hunter with Instant Replay. That again, Team FYN Sports Facebook page, Instant Replay with Lauren Hunter Monday mornings. And this Friday night, don't forget, you can follow us at Team FYN Sports, all of our reporters for all of the highlights throughout the game. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back in 2 weeks after these guys play Cherokee Bluff. Good?
Yes, sir.
We're out.